live. So call the DFG, we went poaching. We dug through the Fulling Mill catalog, pulled a fly fish food pattern, and also stole other things from the catalog. So not original flies tonight, but that's okay. It's the way life goes. So tonight we're tying the Moodah Poodah from Fly Fish Food, which is Curtis's pattern. I know that because the hands were much smaller than Sasquatch hands of Cheech. Terry, how's it going? And we're also going to be tying a Duracell jig, and not in the traditional UV iced out brown, but in my own colorway. And I might share with you guys my favorite fly this year as well at the end. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous about the Moodah Poodah. It's very hard for me to tie. So we are going to be using some new toys tonight, testing that out. A little reggae in the background, a little different, but should be good. So I think I will start with probably the Duracell jig. And one of the ways I was tying it this year for maybe a small little yellow Sally, and this is how I was fishing it. So we'll jump up close, and don't worry, the Regal's back. So we'll get going there. And no naughty people tonight, which will be cool. And a better shirt. Ha! So, let's get this guy centered. Sorry for the wiggliness. Cool. Hey Dennis, how's it going? Welcome. At least my shirt's not Evers, good evening, sir. Jason, hello. Yeah, at least my shirt's not, what would you call it, plaid tonight? It's always good. No, not you, Evers. Your levels of naughtiness are completely acceptable. I actually had to ban somebody. They were talking about wieners and not using that term for a good 5 minutes on the last one when I was at a shop. So they had to get tossed. Brandon, hello. It was probably Cheech, but that's okay. Alrighty, so you can use any jig hook that you want. You could actually probably tie this with one of those new Insta jig beads and one of those cool new things. I've oversized my beads, which is what I usually do. I'm tying this on a size 12 4640, and I think this is a 5/64 tungsten bead. But it's kind of just the way I roll. So as always, I'm using my 50D in this bobbin. So I got my sweatshirt, Jason. Thank you. So what I'm gonna do? These are really basic flies that catch lots and lots of fish. Duracell has been one of my favorite patterns this year, and Cheech and Matthew, they're always getting in trouble together, aren't they? So what I'm going to use for this guy tonight is a Coq de Leon, and this is like a golden yellow, golden stone style color. You did miss out on that one, Jordan. It was pretty lame. I understand there are different levels of maturity inside of humans, but you know, there's some youngsters that watch, so you got to keep it fresh and adult-like. So what I'm going to do is I pull these guys off, and I'm just going to stack them up till I get a happy little tail segment here. And you know, I don't mind bringing them forward. I think it holds them in there better. And like I always say, trout don't count. So I'm not the total three-tail guy when it comes to, you know. Yes, we got sponsored from Duracell on this one. Absolutely. The is that the bunny? No, that's the Energizer bunny. Copper top, yeah. So, no. Yeah, I do have to have the Regal. I missed it the last time I tied because I forgot it in the other car while we were traveling. I was not happy. I miss my favorite vise when I don't have it. What I am tying in is just a BR size wire in brown. Chris, long time, absolutely. I will be trying to mix something up. We'll see what I come up with here. So typically the Duracell jig is using like a brown Coq de Leon and a UV ice dub in brown with a red rib. I've been digging on this UV ice dub in tan. 369 is the color code. Don't try a shirt. I will try not to. So what I'm going to do is just start out with a nice little dubbing loop here. Both the patterns tonight are pretty basic. I mean, they're great entry level. Well, Moodah Poodah's got some tricky steps, but that's alright. So all I do is I'm just going to build this body. Coming forward, if I need to tighten it up, able to do that as well. It's funny how some of the easiest flies are like the most effective ones at times. But that's just the way it goes. So I just dub up. I don't know what that is. Ice dub tan is the fire, absolutely. I tie a ton of stuff with this in this colorway, and it always seems to catch fish. Yeah, reggae. Now you know what I listen to. Like 80% of my life is reggae. I'm going to go ahead and come in, and I'm going to counter rib this guy. I'm not counting wraps or anything here. And actually I want to leave a little bit of room because we do collar this guy. And this is a hard one for me to tie slow. So I might have to do some extra stuff tonight. So you don't have to use the little, you can see the slot in here. Andrew asks, yeah, this is a GSP. It is a 50 denier GSP from Vivas. There you go. So it's kind of my go-to / favorite. I'm going to pull a dubbing loop here. Kind of smush this out a bit. Where'd my dubbing loop chingaderas go? We're gonna have to use something special, like a hook. Somehow I let my octagonal deal run away here from Loon that I co-designed with Fly Fish Food. Brandon asked what hook it is. This is a 4640. I'm out of the traditional hook. So this is like a golden olive, golden type color CDC, which is what this pattern uses here. And what I'm looking for is just trying to find a few. What's up, Toad? How's it going? A few that are the same, kind of the same size. Doesn't have to be perfect. But I'm just going to get a few here, and I like to do this in the Pigeon tool. Should have grabbed one size smaller and have to find one more feather that's long, which will be daunting. Chris, where have you been, man? You've been traveling to some cool places. I'm hoping that all is well with your family, though, buddy. Roach Clips. Hey, Bobby. Oh, boy. Bobby was there for the naughty guy. He witnessed the naughtiness. Should have grabbed the medium-sized clip, but that's okay. We'll get the idea here. So all I'm doing is fumbling with this wrong size Pigeon clip right now because I thought my stuff was longer than it was. And once we get it kind of in there, we're only going to grab in that section. So we'll just do it all sorts of wild, and I'm going to use the Stonfo tool for that. No shampoo here tonight? No, I don't know. And what I'll do is I'll throw this up in the dubbing loop here. And you know, you could, whoops, blew it, my bad. I'll do that one more time really quick here. See what happens when I don't have my magic dubbing chingaderas? The bobbin's not bad. I'm loving it. I should hope to love it. I kind of designed it. But yeah, no, I'm happy. I'm excited for them to, we're going to test them, you know, make sure everything's perfect before we send them out to y'all. So we'll do this one more time. So now that we have it back in the Pigeon clip, I think I'm saying his name horribly wrong. Probably hates me. But that's okay. It's not about that. Aaron? Who's Aaron? What's up, buddy? There we go. Now we can go ahead and kind of manipulate this to how we want it. And the Pigeon clip is super killer for pretty much all of this stuff. And you want to hold that thread nice and tight. Now, you can go really long with your hackles. I like to go a little short and spiky, so I do like a 60-40 on mine. You know, that inherently there'll be a few longer CDC fibers in here. But it's a pretty fully dressed fly, typically. At least the production ones that I see in my sample kit. Yeah, no welcome to the jungle tonight, but definitely reggae. Kind of dig it. I always tie with music, so it's soothing. So next up, we just need to do a small collar, and for that I've been doing the Ice Dub in PT, which is ICE 288. Take care, Jason. Thanks for tuning in, man. I will talk to you soon. So I just do a real light, simple dubbing noodle. Colorado brown. Are you painting houses in Colorado? And I put a lot of this dub in, and I really wrench down on it. And we'll whip finish. Aaron's going to be a mobile viewer tonight. Oops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of my unicorn tears, aka Flow, and I'm just going to kind of work it down in here. Oops, maybe not. I must have left my window open while I was gone. There we go. That's not filling quite. Let's do some thin. I want to fill the void in this little bugger here. So I'm going to fill the void in that bubble, and I'm going to try out this new light. I've been testing it and making sure. Petty John. I've been testing out this new hairline light. Seems to work pretty well. I like it. It's got the awesome bunny on it. It's a pretty cool light. Good battery scenario. What head do I use on my Regal? Edward, I use the stainless steel, and if you look at it, the newer ones are like, I have one of the really first colored ones, so the new ones come up like way shorter and are much sleeker. But this covers me all the way up to a 2/0. So let's see, where did I have that? There we go. You can zoom in there, and you guys can see it'll obviously ride that way. But it's just got that real seductive tan look to it. It's a great fly. It gets down really quick. And as you can see, kind of a tricky way I can always get tungsten beads. Let's see if I can. Tungsten beads will dance on their heads. So if you ever have somebody who's telling you they're fishing tungsten and you kind of roll it, tungsten beads will like do headstands. It's really hard, kind of like gold, to get them out of there. Hey, you have a nice evening as well, Mr. Aaron. So let's see here. Let's get the vise back in focus. Let's focus in on this vise. There we go. I do. They're actually probably Costco batteries in my vise. So that's how I roll. We're a Costco family, if there is such a thing. So this is just a clean camera hook. Forgot the number of it, but that's life. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, I started tying them in just like all these different colors for guide flies because they're pretty simple. So all I'm doing now is just prepping. I just put a hole. I want it to be the gap of my foam. So what I do, or I want my foam to be the width of the hook gap per Curtis. So what I do is I just put my foam up there, and then I put a hole in it. So now I know my width. It's a pretty simple trick. And I'm just going to kind of pre-cut this guy. So what Curtis does is, I've seen him tie these on the YouTubes, that is. And I cut a V-notch out of it. So you get this cool little bat wing. Yeah, it's just a real quick way with foams if you want to have like a hook gap's width, just to ensure that you get that. And the foam's pliable enough you can push it in there. Where do you find real tungsten beads that are not just the plated ones? I get mine from Hairline, and I know the mass of tungsten in a spherical sense. So I've weighed them, and they're not plated. They are true tungsten beads. So hey Kelsey, how's it going? Yeah, some of them I don't know what other people are doing, man. I just know due to something I've been working on, I've been trying to figure out spherical weights of tungsten. So that's what I've come up with. Is my hairline ones seem to be the truest to the math that I find on the interwebs. So I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. Pretty good distance here. I'm going to go just to the barb. I might be doing it wrong. So, but Curtis isn't here to correct me that I'm just going with it. And so one thing they always talk about is just like kind of like with the last fly, make them different. So this guy I'm going to use for my tail section. I'm going to use Ice Dub Peacock Eye IC 281, and I'm actually going to do a darker rib with a crystal flash in a black, which is KF15. And I want a little extra, so I'm going to run 2 strands. This is a great bug if you're fishing like a dry dropper, anything like that. I've actually tied a few where I tie a dropper loop off the back end as well. It seems to work really, really good. So. I do need a life. Yes, this is true. It's something I've contemplated quite a bit, like not being such a science nerd, but it's I can't get away from it ever. I'm working on something. I'm always working on something. So just the way it is. Trying to make our lives better as fly fishermen. So I'm going to do just this little tag back here, wrap it real tight in there with the peacock eye dubbing, so it just forms. And then I've been really digging this pheasant tail color. We have a kind of this light brown-ish beetle, and when you look at Ice Dub, you know, it looks so sparkly there, but it's not science. That's weird. But you always got to look at Ice Dubs up against like a light. So if you look at it into the light, this becomes a very true pheasant tail color. And we'll just build a little dubbing noodle here. That's not science, that's just weird. I guess I'm weird. I'll fall into that category. I just kind of like to watch where I end up with my Ice Dub here. I'm just going to go ahead and ramp this off. It's alright if it's a little shaggy body. It's totally fine. And I'll go ahead and counter rib just to create some body segmentation, and you can use any color of crystal flash that you so desire. You could use like a root beer, probably look pretty slick. So some of mine, one of my little variations that I do is I take some of this parapost wing and pull it tight because it'll straighten it out a bit. And I'm just going to put a little underwing. Told you I wouldn't tie ever anything exactly right. So I put it in at the 3 and 6. I split it while I was on the hook shank, so it'll kind of be more of a like a drowned wing out here on the side. It's been kind of cool. Anything on the bottom, I trim it up and get it out of the way. So I didn't have any elk, so I'm going to use some Primo deer. Very, very minimal underfluff here. And actually dress this the way I normally do. This is about half pencil's worth if you're a pencil guy. I don't weigh all my tungsten beads, Brandon. I'm just slowly working out any shorties. This is a pretty, I think this deer is probably, I don't know, it's not a fall deer, obviously. It has a little bit of underfur. Give it a quick stack. And I want this just to extend right out to the back. And I'm going to take 2 wraps. I don't want to rotate this, so I'm going to pull just kind of straight down. And then we'll really secure that in there. With the 50 GSP, tends to make it flare quite a bit. So I'll go ahead and wrap through. You can see working through the deer hair there, and then we'll just smooth that out. That section gets really, really hidden as well, just because of the, we're going to be laying this big foam wing case over the top. So I just make a slight dent. And then I'm going to ream out. This one is, I think it's an 1120. I don't know. It was just from Daiichi. It was just kind of hanging out. I just recognize it as a clink hammer. So that's what I went with. Could be something different. I could be way off. So, kind of like when you're doing all sorts of other coolness with foams. You know what, that's a little long. Uh-oh. I'm going to trim that back just a little bit. Put a new chevron in that. So what I'll do is I'll get that on there and I'll rotate it. Get it right into the position that I want it. Get the thread in that position. And what I'm talking about when I'm talking about getting the thread into position, you can see you can move your thread back up into the hair here to form this. And I'm just letting it go straight down. And this is what's going to form the head on this fly. Just want to look and see where I've trapped it. If it wants to rotate on you a little bit, I think Curtis says you can use Zap-A-Gap. Trim this guy back just a hair here. Felt like it was a little long. So I've never you can extend your wings out a little bit more if you'd like to. Let's see. Yes, 1167. Andrew asked, where do I get my GSP? It is from Hairline. It is Vivus 50D GSP. And I just built a nice little zone there. I do like to trim this guy up just a bit, just to make the head just a little bit smaller. And we're going to do some legs. Now they use these cool barred legs. I didn't have the cool barred legs, so I'm going to use standard legs and go from there. Fly Nerd, it's supposed to be some sort of bug beetle thing. I don't know. It's just like an attractor pattern. I don't think it's designed to emulate or be exactly like any in particular bug. I just use it as a general searching pattern during summer with dry dropper. So just a smush of high-vis parachute post here, and we'll get in there and do some Caltrans work, clean everything up. And you guys can change up your post colors to whatever, you know, you feel is appropriate for your watershed. I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to use an olive and just darken down this thread here. Just a bit. And you can make eyes for even more fun. It actually won't really matter that much, but it's kind of cool. Is it a strong thread? Well, yeah, we can do a thread test. It's a very strong thread. I'm going to trim them off on the short up front here, and then just a little bit, have it be a little bit longer on the back. I'll just taper that tuft. You know, you can make it as big as you want. You can also extend the foam on your wing more if you like. I've just really dug this shorter wing case. I don't like these little fuzzies over here. So you can always come back in, do some maintenance, plow around in there. And I like to spread that little underwing out just a little bit so it's slightly more visible. But yeah, that's my little spin on a Moodah Poodah there. The eyes make it though. They make it look tough, especially when viewed from the front. He looks happy actually. Yeah, pretty cool little pattern. They're available through Foley Mill. They're pretty awesome. So is GSP strong? So if you guys look, I have this huge slab of granite as my base. You can see it's not small. Let's do a GSP strength test. See what we can do. So obviously you won't be able to see, but yeah, so the reason I tie with this stuff, so this is like a size 2 or a 4, no, it's probably size 2, like 811S salt hook, some sort of, too long to be, no, it's a Daiichi salt hook. So you can see, if I really bury this thing in there, you can see you're opening it up. I mean, it's stronger than you would ever need. So if you're tying with, I relate it to be about the same size as 10-aught, maybe smaller. So for all my bugs, big, large, small, steelhead, I tie with the same thread. I don't think you get less on a spool probably, but I feel like it gives me pretty good advantage with strength. Very true, Simon. GSP is life. Alright, so this is going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but that's okay. They don't all have to be 3 hours long like last week. I'm actually still worn down from the last week on the road. But this is my favorite pattern this year with Trout spey. So this is a Glow Bright floss. It's kind of a cool type floss material. So I swing a lot of 3 and 4 weight speys, and hands down this has been my #1 pattern this year in the West. So you get these super slick floss bodies with this Glow Bright floss, and you can treat it just like a regular thread. So all I'm doing is just building like a taper here. So floss is typically pretty tough to work with. I gotta change that a little bit. My puppy is barking hellaciously right now. Let's see if I can get this to zoom in here a bit better. Sorry guys, I apologize. My hands are roached too today from sharpening things and such, i.e. scissors. Thanks, Ben, I appreciate it. Let's see if I can get some of this flow to come out of here. I have old windows in my office, and we'll use a little bit of this actually. Just a very light touch of thin. So how do I like my 3-weight trout spey? Can I put the Duracell jig in the tank? Tank is not operational tonight. I drained it when I went out of town last week, and I did not fill it. But the next time that we meet, I will put it in the tank because I won't fish it. So all I'm doing is reinforcing this body with some thin just to make it look really. And then we'll open the Regal up and we'll spin it a little thick right there. You can see that stuff really starts to glow. You need some sharpening. So yeah, back to 3-weight trout space. I've been fishing the new TR 11-foot 3-weight and 4-weight, and I've been loving it. It's really fun. I've been fishing trout space for quite a while, probably the last 4 years, and hands down, it's got a really good taper to it. It's a really fun rod. The 3-weight I've been getting down to like the 210 grain in the Scandi offerings. Throwing clear floats or just straight tapered leaders with really fun success. So this is going to be kind of my spin on a partridge and orange or a little caddis, which is what I'm fishing it as. Sorry, yeah, I wish I would have not got home last night at midnight. That was not in my game plan. So it's going to be a little long, but that's okay. So this is just a single partridge feather. Oh, before I do that, hold on. One smidgen. I almost forgot, I got sidetracked. So the only thing that's different from a traditional partridge and orange is A, I use that floss, B, I coat it with UV resin, and C, I do just a tiny ball of some ice dub right underneath the collar. Yeah, I found that the UV resin totally helps it to kind of last longer as well, especially with thread body stuff. So once I've got my few wraps in there, so it's interesting, I actually will even fish this under a float or an indicator, you know, whatever you want to call it, and dead drift them. And the amount of fish that eat a soft hackle on the dead drift is absolutely amazing. Let's see here. What do I got kicking around down here for colorways? Might have to do an olive. Typically I finish these with brown. Brown's packed up. I'm just going to darken up my thread, which is what I do with the white with an olive. Not my standard. I usually do brown. And then just a tiny drop of some flow, and I actually let that get into the partridge feathers as well. Not frightful of that. Absolutely, Luke. Hey, what's up, Curtis? I am in my soft hackles, absolutely. Yeah, everybody was focused on the roach clip last week. It was pretty funny. So, yeah, it's just my little simple partridge and orange. It's really just a basic fly. Right on, Fly Nerd. Thanks for tuning in, man. So, yeah, guys, that's about what I've got for this week. So, luckily, Fly Nerd, you got to see everything. But if you guys have anything you want to see next week, I'm all ears. We're going to have some more adventurous stuff coming up. Actually, hold on. I got to check my Google calendar thing. Oh, no, there is a next week. Okay, cool. I was a little worried that that was going to be Thanksgiving. Thanks, Ben. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks, Terry. So yeah, it looks like on the 17th. Is there anything you guys want to see done? I might even, man, one of our ambassadors might be in town. I might make him tie flies. That would be cool. Yeah, maybe I'll reach out to him. Otherwise, maybe we'll do some different stuff. I don't know, unless you guys have some requests. Thanks, Kelsey. I'm going to zoom out. Thanks, Brent. Tiny, tiny soft hackles. Tiny. Yeah, and you can change the color of the floss on these to be olives and everything, and fish just like it. Paul asked, when does the beginner class And rookie streamers, dry trout fly. Oh man. Twist on an egg sucking leech. I like it. Let's see. Some trout flies. Maybe some egg sucking leeches. Yeah, maybe I'll do an egg sucking leech. Algramite. Thank you, Edward. I appreciate it. Yeah, we'll do a trout fly, maybe a dry. I'll have to find like some hackles or something. I'll have to call Kehoe and get some hackles or something. Twist on a hare's ear. That could be cool. Yeah, we'll figure out something. Let's see. Thanks, Evers. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'll figure out some fun stuff. Let's see. Yeah, it is. I just bought one. I wanted to play with the hairline UV light, and as you guys can see, it puts out UV light. It's a cool light. I like it. It's an option. It's out there. So yeah, we'll do some trout stuff, maybe some dries, something like that, and we'll figure it out. We'll get some fun stuff. I'll look back at all the recommendations. Maybe we'll tie extra patterns. Maybe I'll make my buddy come in and tie some patterns. We'll do like tags in or something. But a Frenchie. I tied a Frenchie, I think, when I was at that shop. Tied a total French nymph. But we'll get it in there. Don't worry, Jordan. So yeah, guys, that's all I got for you. As always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. And the beginner class, I'm thinking, is going to be January. So I know Hairline's got the kits out now. We're going to be talking with some fly shops, getting that going. And it should be cool. We're going to do 4 weeks, like 20 patterns. So they might be a little bit longer too, which is fine by me, since Evers says I don't have a life. But anyways, all right, guys, thank you to you all, and cheers. Have a good night.